What's going on, you guys? This is NWB Productions coming to you live for the one time. We're going to keep it G all the way through. 100% me. You already know how we coming. Yeah, we out here. But anyway, let's get into today's topic. Which way and how do you present your productions, and what does it bring to the table? And do you cover all the spectrums on what it takes and what it means to have an actual American bully or any dog for that matter? Okay, so when I think about your production, I'm talking about your setup, I'm talking about your dogs, I'm talking about your work ethic, I'm talking about how you interact with your dogs, I'm talking about do you treat them as a companion? Are you loyal to them? Are they living good? Are they living a happy dog life, even with the process of maybe being show dogs or production dogs or dogs that you have intended on breeding? I would say the biggest mistake that I think productions make, which is none of my business, because I feel like the best thing you can do as a kennel production is focus on yourself, learn from others, and try to grow and expand and be the best that you can be. But I feel like the biggest issue is, think about it. I feel like the biggest issue is people tend to come into this game and be looking for money and trying to breed, and they miss the overall point and the overall aspect of what they could be doing and how they could be moving, and overall which ways they could better the breed per se. So, which way? What do I mean? I mean, like, they literally come for one or two things, and they don't take advantage of and understand that your dog still should have a quality of life. They don't understand that your dog is your companion. It should be like your friend. It should be therapeutic in a sense. They don't understand that your dog is worth more than just puppies and money. You have to put your dog into perspective. Even if it's a show dog or it's a dog that you are breeding, I still feel like that is your pet. You supposed to love, you supposed to adore, on the guidelines of just treating your animal, your pet, like it's supposed to be. Now, when you think of just productions, people always go about structure. Yes, structure is a guaranteed important thing. It what separates an average kennel from a great kennel, or a legendary kennel from a outstanding overall past amazing kennel. What do I mean? I mean, there's your good, there's your bad, there's your good, and then there's your great and amazing. So I think structure tends to get lost around and get tossed around, but I also think that as a kennel production, the best thing that you can do is shine light on what your kennel has to offer, but also be honest with the flaws that your kennel have, and also find ways to improve those flaws, because I believe there is no one kennel greater than the other. I believe there is no one production that has just downright perfect dogs all the way through. Which ways you can improve as a production, which ways you can give your dog the best quality of life, which ways you as a production can produce the best, not only the best, but be the best version of what you bring into the table, and that gives your dogs the ability to succeed. What does it mean to succeed? To live up to their expectation as pets, not just show dogs, not just breed quality, but overall pets. Let your dog be a dog. So, structure is important, health is important, qualities are important. Understanding the breed is important, but I feel like that's important, yeah. But if you're not giving your dogs the quality of life they deserve, and your focus is solely on things that just focus on outwardly appearances, and you forget about the companionship and the pet side of things, that you cut yourself short. If you do not point out your flaws, I feel like it can hurt you in the long run. If your dog got a slight high rear, let your customer know, hey, this is my bloodline. This is what it brings to the table. Your dog is going to get real thick. Your dog is going to have this size head. Your muzzle is going to be straight. You're going to have perfect feeding, etc. But these are the problems. You might have a kink tail here and there. You might have a slight easty-westy, depending on how far in the bloodline. Or your dog might have a slight roach back, or it might have a slight high rear. I feel like every dog has a flaw. I feel like pedigree alone cannot tell you the dog's flaw. Yes, it gives an overall view on what's likely to come from that particular production, but I feel that it's other factors that play a role in structure of a dog. With that being said, that comes from educational videos as far as learning about the breed, understanding the qualities of the breed, understanding the downfalls of the breed, and understanding the ways that you can better the breed, understanding the things that are found in the breed per se, like hip dyslexia and stuff like that. Just in I'm just naming stuff, not saying it's necessarily in the American Bully breed. High reels, or easty westy, or overbite, underbite, or heart murmurs and things like that. All of these things play a role, and there's probably other things that happens with dogs just in general, but I just can't think of them at the time. But our overall thought process is, yes, you want a solid structure, but all those other things matter just as much. I feel like you can have a puppy have perfect structure. All his parents got perfect structure and whatnot, but you don't do the things necessary. Your dog gonna end up with easty westy, or they're gonna end up with weak pastures, or etc., or they're gonna end up with a flaw that is undesirable. Now, am I saying that you want to just get any old dog? No. What I'm saying is that in the process of getting quality, don't just forget about all the other things that make a dog a dog. Also, look into those things also. When you're thinking about dogs and you're thinking about which ways you can better the breed, and you're thinking about which ways you can better yourself as an individual dealing with the breed, you want to have a full understanding. You want to be willing to grow. You want to be willing to understand your flaws. You want to be willing to accept the flaws that your dog may have. I feel like when you're able to accept the flaws that your dog have, you're able to move forward. Like I know in my program, one of the biggest things that I see every now and then, they have the nice feet. They don't have car hawks. They have, a great heads and all that. But the biggest flaw that I see is some of my dogs have a slight high rear. Not all of them. Some of them are perfectly straight. So what does this mean? This means that's a trait that is a possibility. It always may come. Can it be fixed? Yes. Studded to the right male, it can be fixed. Now, my stud male right now, he is solid. His flaw, I would say, or his back feet. They're not necessarily straight, but they're not bad either. And he can move, and he does not have cow hocks. So his back feet, I would say, and also the only other thing that I could think of, he can have a little bit more definition versus more thickness. But again, my dog goes more to the old school bully, the old school Gotti line, which is an American Pit Bull Terrier. And so he tends to have a little bit more. He's more of a classic, or more of a standard. So my goal is to let my dog function to his high level based off the bloodline he have. I feel like you got to understand these bloodlines when you're breeding these different dogs. You have to understand the bloodline within the American Bully, because I can say bloodline, you're thinking about 3 different types of dog. No, when I mean bloodline, I mean the different bloods that help bring up to American Bully to what there is now. Everybody know about Gotti line. Everybody know about Razor Edge. Everyone knows about Muscle Tone. Everyone knows about the Babes, the Lucianas, the all of those fans. It's probably even more that I can't think of off the top of my head. I'm just naming a couple that come to my mind. Everybody know about those bloodlines. They know what they bring to the table, what they represent, and what to expect off a dog that comes from that line. But just knowing that doesn't necessarily equate to your puppies being fine. You have to make the right calculations and put the right structured dogs together to create the right quality to present to your customers, or being able to produce on a high level. Now, what this does is put you in a position to not only kind of have an upper hand when it comes to dog shows, when it comes to quality, when it comes to overall thing. It puts you in a position to not only be known, but make a change in the American Bully community. Another thing that I want to say, setups. You got to know how many dogs you can handle for your setup. You got to know how to work your setup depending on the area in which you stay. You got to know what works for you might not work for the next person. You got to understand that you need to do your research, especially when you're looking at how you setting up. You might be in an area where it floods. You can't have your dog sitting low to the ground. So guess what? You got to have your dog sitting up. You can't have your dog inside. You can't have your dog outside. You can't have your dog around hay because they break out. You can't have your dog eating certain dog foods. Setups play a role. How much water do you give your dogs? How much water does your dog need because of the weather? These things are important. And just understanding your dog. So, getting into the American Bully breed and getting into understanding what things can better your program, I feel like it is important to point out your flaws so that you can know which ways you can improve and you can overall better your program and the breed. And I also feel like you should get in a connection with your animals, not just on a show perspective or a structure perspective or just this dog is fire perspective, but an actual loving and therapeutic way that you can give your dogs the full quality of life and let them be a dog in the process. Don't wait till they're old and they can't breathe no more. Don't wait till they're old and they're not able to function and you say, well, I'm going to let this dog be a pet. I'm going to loosen up on the weight. No, treat that dog like a dog while it's in its prime so that it can have the quality of life to not only, be, on that level, but have the quality of life that's enjoyable and not just eat, work out, muscle, breed to certain dogs, create quality, do it again. A dog life should consist more than just breeding. A dog life should consist more than just being chained up. A dog life should consist more than just being in a cage. A dog life should consist of more just getting fed and getting water. A dog life should consist more of this just walking. You have to be third. Your dog should be like, you should be able to talk to your dog just like you talk to a human, not in the sense of the same level, but you should be able to have conversations. You should be able to support your dog, lift up your dog, reward your dogs with more than just dogs. You just treat your dog like they're supposed to be treated and not just look at them as a cash crop. But this NWB Right coming to you live for the one time. We're going to keep it G all the way free. Which ways can you better your program? And what are the importance of pointing out the flaws? In my opinion, to conclude of what I'm saying, I think flaws play a big role in the success of people program because I feel like you pointing out your flaws can tell you where you need to improve in. This is NWB Right coming to you live for the one time. We're going to keep it G all the way free, 100% me. What are you doing? Yeah.